What is happening, traders? Completely different looking video for Monday for you guys today, as we'll be talking about how to generate passive revenue if you have spot holdings in Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything. But before I actually jump onto this video, I'm going to ask you something. Hit that subscribe, guys. Hit that subscribe, hit that like button. Just a couple of you have to hit subscribe button for me to reach 100 subscribers. So yay, 100 subscribers. Long way to go, guys. Let's make this community a pretty sophisticated trading community and the best trading community out there so far in crypto space. Let's do this. Let's do this together, guys. All right, so let's just simply jump on to how can you go for passive revenue in crypto markets. One of the methods right here is using the exchange Deribit. Now, Deribit is an exchange where you have coin settled futures. Now, what do you mean by coin settled future? This means that your profits and your losses are going to be calculated in BTC or in Ethereum, whatever you are trading, right? So for example, if you have some spot exposure, if you have some spot BTC lying around in your wallets or somewhere like that, you can simply take all of those Bitcoins. If you want to go for a simple passive revenue generation, a risk-free return kind of situation for you, you want to be looking at the market dynamics. And well, if the markets are inclined more towards longing, so basically the long positions are going to be paying hefty amount of interest rates. Now in this case right here, the 8-hour funding rate is about 0.019% of the entire position size, right? So for example, if you have $1 million of position, well, $1 million being a big one right here, but yeah, if you have $1,000 million worth of position in the market of long exposure, you're going to be paying this percent of the entire position size per 8 hours. So that's going to be pretty expensive. Now how do you capitalize on that? How do you capitalize on that for risk-free returns? So now what happens is you want to be figuring out when the market is going to be getting into a consolidation to sideways phase where there are less chances of a breakout. In this case, we are currently in trending motion, so I think this could certainly work out in the future, but not as of now, as Bitcoin is in current trending motion. But what exactly do you do? So if you see the funding rate right here constantly picking up and staying in staying in green most of the times, you simply market short your exposure. For example, in this case, I'm going to be simply going ahead and market shorting. How do I do this? Why is this so not useful? All right, so let's just simply jump on and try to market short this amount of BTC, which is going to be at $280 right now. And if I go for a market sell right now, it would get me to a position in the market, right? So now this position right here worth 280 USD is going to be getting 0.02% of this size, of the $280 size right here, every 8 hours, right? That is going to be settled in Bitcoin. So that is your funding. So basically that is pretty much it. Let me explain this properly, but I think this is pretty much it. This is pretty much how you do it, right? Now do not worry about the profit and loss and the ROI and whatnot, because if you have spot exposure, for example, if you have 280 USD worth of BTC and you short $280 worth of BTC, you are delta neutral. All right, you're not losing out on your USD values, although you will be losing out on your BTC values, right? So if the prices of well, I'm simply losing the chain of my thoughts right here, but this is called delta neutral. Having a spot exposure, going for a future short position is called delta neutral. Now that tells you that how you can actually go for some passive revenue without any risk in the market. Now a lot of hedge funds have been doing this. Hedge funds have been having an exposure of like, say for example, $10 million or something like that. So most of the hedge funds, what they would do is they would simply put those $10 million in form of BTC in this particular exchange right here, Deribit, or maybe any other Bitcoin settled exchange. And what they would generally do is they would short on the futures of the same amount, like the $10 million worth of short position on a base capital of 10 million. Now if you have any confusion and any doubts as to what I'm trying to ramble here and what I'm trying to tell you, you just simply leave those questions down in the comment. I'm going to be answering every little thing to you guys, because I think this is one of the good ways to actually keep on having a passive revenue, like a cash flow, like a constant cash flow. Like a lot of people talk about there should be 7 sources of income and shit like that. So now I think that 7 sources of income should be within one single field. That would make more sense to me. I mean, look, it's good to have a multiple skill set kind of profile, but if you are proficient, if you have capitalized in one single industry, and if you know everything about one single industry, so you certainly would be having a lot of ways to actually generate those 7 streams of income from one single industry. Now this one being cryptocurrency industry right here, and I think this pretty much explains what I'm trying to do. You have a spot exposure, you go short on the futures contract, and you are bagging this funding rate every 8 hours on this position, right? So this one being 280 USD, not much significant right here. Let's just simply try and go ahead with the market shorting a little more. Let's let's maybe try 25,000 USD. So let's try to sell this on the market. Let's see if I get a slippage or not. Okay, so now this position size right here now is a little significant, right? It's a little significant. So 0.03% of this position size per 8 hours is going to be a risk-free return. It's going to be a risk-free return. Do not worry about the profit and loss right here. Now I'm repeating myself again and again. You should not worry about the PNL right here, because the funding settlement is a different subject altogether. All right, you're not going to be focused on PNL for this particular kind of passive revenue kind of method, right? So guys, I think this is pretty much it. This is pretty much some, like, let me just sum up this entire video. Having a spot exposure, shorting the futures, all right, that's delta neutral. And if the funding is going to be in positive, you go for a short position. If the funding is going to be in negative, you go for a long position, so that you are constantly bagging out returns right here. Well, I mean, going for a long position in a negative funding is going to be certainly different in terms of dynamics and all. I'm going to make a different video altogether, trying to do a better job in terms of explaining how this entire thing works. But let's just simply focus on shorting your spot exposure. Now this position right here is going to constantly generate some passive revenue, and it's going to be settled in BTC itself, right? So these kind of things, these kind of trades is something that you take when you are least bothered about your BTC equity. You are more bothered about your regular cash flow, like a daily wage or something like that. So this is when this thing is going to be pretty beneficial, guys. I mean, a lot of you guys are going to be adding up to your equity significantly in the coming days as Bitcoin goes up. And if you're hodling Bitcoin since a very long time, I mean, this is certainly going to be one of the best method to actually pull out a good chunk of passive revenue in the long run. As well as Bitcoin keeps on trending to the upside, the funding interest will keep on jumping to the upside, and you can bag a constant return, settle every 8 hours, right? So in that fun anyway, if you have any doubts, whatever you want to be talking about, whatever you want to know about this entire thing, just leave them down in the comments. You can get in touch on Twitter and Instagram as well. Just look for Cryptoducator, and well, just hit that subscribe, guys. Let's just simply go into 100 subscribers, and let's just simply teleport to 1,000 subscribers as well pretty soon, because I think what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to build a pretty sophisticated trading community out of you people, and I've made this my personal job to make you guys good traders in this market. And well, I hope you guys don't lose money and constantly generate passive revenues through methods like this, right? Won't that be amazing? Anyway, that's been pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions, just leave it down in the comments. I hope I did a good job in terms of making you understand how this works. If not, just leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comment, and I'll try to do a better job next time, guys. Alright, that's been it. Bye for now.